Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Meat Puppet, bringing you another interesting video. And I actually found one, and I'm surprised that YouTube didn't delete this video. You know, like negative effects, they're not really covered. You're not supposed to put them online. You're fear-mongering people. But I just thought this one was kind of interesting. And I think I also know why they left this one. Because they want to show you it's an exception.
Since being in such a career, I have always been pro-science and pro-vaccination. Before my vaccination, I was a healthy and active 39-year-old. I enjoyed activities outside, traveling and crafting with my family. I also cherished my work in a very busy pediatric dental office. I was not taking any medications prior to the vaccine, and I have never had a COVID infection, and I have been tested for proof. In January, my life changed drastically. Immediately after the injection, I felt an odd tingling type dripping sensation in my arm. I had immediate heart palpitations and a feeling as if I was going to pass out. I'm so sorry. And my blood pressure reading was so high that I don't know how I didn't have a stroke. I cannot quote what it was, but as a hygienist, I take blood pressure readings on my patients before I treat them, my adult patients. And it was so high that I was scared in that moment that something was happening to me. I did eventually stabilize. They monitored me for the 15 minutes and then an extra 30 minutes after. And I did stabilize, so they went on ahead and sent me home. When I got home, I felt a little, woozy, a little dizzy. The next couple of days, I just had a headache and just kind of that feeling of unwell, all of the things that I had signed up for to get the vaccine. But it was 3 days later that my symptoms increased and accelerated. I had a sharp stabbing pain in my scapula area that was just this intermittent, like a knife stabbing pain. I had tingling and numbness throughout my body. It ran down both my arms. I also still had the heart palpitations. I had these internal vibrations. And the only way I can explain the internal vibrations is it feels like you have this little electric shock running through your body.
What you have to take in consideration is these people have been taking supposedly a trial vaccine in January. So that's quite a long time ago. But surprisingly, they still have gangster effects that is still not solved till now. And nobody is actually trying to assist them to help them recover as much as they want. And that's what the thing that bothers me. It's not the idea that the vaccine is taken and it has a bad effect. It's more like it was in the trial phase, so it's more accepted to put that online because it's not fear-mongering. They decided to apply to this gangster test. I get it. Not fear-mongering, just explaining the story. But one thing I do know is, why is it that with vaccine, there is always a law that protect the manufacturers from anything, liability, whatever? You cannot sue anybody. But you are supposed to put this in your body, which I kind of find surprising. I don't like the idea that I have to put something in my body so you feel safe. You can force me to do it. You can tell me, hey, buy a plane ticket with it, right? You're gonna get free plane ticket. Life is Gucci. I don't know. It just feels weird. We live in a very unique age now and in the future.
Like you're stuck in a vibrating chair, like glued into it, and it never stops. I have tremors in my hands, which has made me leery if I'll ever be able to practice as a hygienist again. And like Cheryl, I am so fearful that I may have some sort of neurological issue after this with Parkinson's. They have ruled out MS, but again, they have not told me that I have anything. They can tell me what I don't have. I have swollen lymph nodes, brain fog. I had brain fog so extreme that I would be having a conversation with someone and I would black out. Try to come back to that conversation and nothing was there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just feels weird. I'm surprised so many people went to the trial. I want to help the community. And this happens, you know? And I don't know. I would have never gone. I don't freaking care. If I have to die, hey, it's my turn. But the fact that I put a trial stuff in my body without any compensation, that I feel that my family will be safe and I'm gonna suffer a very unique, interesting death slowly, I'm not sure.
Swollen lymph nodes, muscle weakness, unexplained skin rashes. I had convulsions and nighttime seizures. I had to have my 6-year-old daughter wake me up from a fit in the middle of the night.
No, okay, that's it. No, this is seriously. This is seriously. The fact that your kids have to see this in such a way that they don't even understand what the heck is happening, and your kid might even say, "Mama, stop playing," or something like that. This is so messed up.
No 6-year-old should have to do that for their parent. I have also experienced thick, clotting, heavy menstrual cycles.
I do know there's a family member that had some issue with the clothing. It got better, but hey, she didn't do it in the trial phase, so I kind of assume they know what they're doing. And then again, she was also a little old. But this lady, she ain't old, you know? And it sucks, the fact that you took something to help the humanity, and now you actually lost maybe a job that she loves, Jeanette, quite clearly when she was talking about it. And now she has to worry, I don't know how my future is gonna be with my 6-year-olds watching me shaking and everything. You can't even take your kids somewhere else to have fun because randomly you might get a seizure and yeah, that's it. If she is a single mom, man, I don't even wanna, oof.
I was so afraid that I literally, and I have it with me, I prepared my will and my obituary for my family because I didn't think that I would wake up to the next day. I have reported my symptoms to VSafe, VAERS, CDC, FDA, Pfizer. I have also sent information to 2 very well-known research institutes, and I have also reached out to prestigious universities.
It's a long video, so as usual, all my videos, I try to put the link. If you want to watch it, you can just watch it. But I'm just going to fast forward quickly because there is another mother that seems to have done something very interesting, which I am so surprised that she did it. And it sucks for her and her daughter.
Senator Johnson, for the opportunity to share Maddie's story, and to all of you for your willingness to listen. This isn't easy for me, and this has been very clearly emotional. So I'm going to read what I've written so I don't lose track. My name is Stephanie, and this is my daughter, Maddie, and we live in Ohio. On January 20th, Maddie received her 2nd dose of the Pfizer COVID vaccine.
Ooh, so they do mention which one. Uh-oh.
As a participant in the clinical trial for 12 to 15-year-olds. All 3 of our kids volunteered and were excited to participate in the trial as a way to help us all return to normal life. My husband works in the medical field, and I have a degree in electrical engineering. We are pro-vaccine and pro-science, which is why we agreed to let Maddie and her 2 older brothers volunteer for the trial. Before Maddie got her final dose of the vaccine, she was a healthy 12-year-old who got straight A's and had lots of friends. She had a life. She was energetic. She was not like this. Although she does still have lots of friends. Upon receiving the 2nd shot, Maddie immediately felt pain at the injection site. And over the next 24 hours, she developed severe abdominal and chest pain. And the way she described the chest pain, and I quote, "It feels like my heart is being ripped out through my neck." She had painful electrical shocks down her neck and spine that forced her to walk hunched over. She had extreme pain in her fingers and toes. It actually made them turn white, and they were cold whenever you touched them. She had edema. So my husband immediately took her to the ER as instructed by the vaccine trial nurse administrator, which is what we were instructed to do. Her blood was taken for a renal profile and tested. She was checked for appendicitis, which she did not have.
such a pain and they're going to check for appendicitis. So it has to be a lot of pain. It's not something you can easily fake in your stomach. Hopefully. I don't.
And given an IV with some medicine, then sent home. However, in the discharge papers from the Children's Hospital ER that she went to, the diagnosis stated adverse effect of vaccine initial encounter. This would be the only time that that was written in her medical charts, but it's in.
That's weird. Nobody wants it to look as if it's a pain for something else other than anything else. No, everybody wants to just say, you know what, it's something different. It's not the vaccine. And that's what I find like very horrible. Like, yeah, it's your body, it's something else. We need to look for another issue. They don't focus on the issue that the fact that you put something in my body, you need to find out through that route. No, you just, no, it's something else, appendicitis and all those stuff.
Over the next 2.5 months, her abdominal, muscle, and nerve pain became unbearable. She had developed additional symptoms that included gastroparesis, nausea and vomiting, erratic blood pressure and heart rate, memory loss. She mixes up words, brain fog, headaches, dizziness, fainting. She fell and hit her head, and then seizures. She developed verbal and motor tics. She had loss of feeling from the waist down and muscle weakness.
Wait, from the waist down, she's paralyzed?
Urinary retention and loss of bladder control, severely irregular and heavy menstrual cycles, and eventually she had to have an NG tube put in to get nutrition. All of these symptoms are still here today. Some days are worse than others. Our greatest challenge came when her doctors began to consider an alternative diagnosis. Well, she really didn't have one before, so it was the first one. So, like everybody else, she had lots of tests, but not nearly as many tests as everybody else, and she's a child. Why didn't they do all those tests on her? So, because they couldn't figure it out, one physician labeled her as having functional neurologic disorder, saying it was due to anxiety. This concerned us, and we didn't agree with it because she doesn't have anxiety. Look at her. I mean, what 13-year-old can sit here calmly, okay, if they have anxiety or mental issues? At one point, they even tried to admit her to a mental hospital.
Okay, that's kind of weird though. Anxiety? You're telling me that all those things that she has experienced in her body, I mean, there are cases that people can have anxiety and specific things can go out of control in your body, because sometimes people say that if your mind ain't that healthy, it can affect your body. But the thing is, you put something in her body that makes her body then react in some way, and her anxiety is making it worse. And I hate the strategy that many doctors have these days, that it's like, if you have a wound, I'm gonna put something over it, a bandage, and it should be okay. And I'm like, usually I just want to talk about what the heck created that wound. How did it appear there? Because I know, for example, there was a girl, she had humongous bad headache. Nobody could solve it. Medicine. And she said, you know what? I'm going to find a weird, gangster, dangerous doctor that actually researched my body, but I have to pay extra more. And the doctor found out the fact that the way she is sitting is in such a weird, negative way, because the chair at her work was so bad. Her bones or something were pushing a specific nerve, which was causing the headache. And that is something that I always consider that I would like to have with vaccine. It's not that I don't want to take the vaccine, because I've taken vaccine when I was little, and hey, it actually benefited me in a very long time. But now, all I want is, could you please provide all this clear information, all these tests, so I can feel comfortable to take the vaccine? I mean, the time that I will take the vaccine is when literally almost everybody has done it, and I can safely say, okay, it doesn't have a gangster effect on the human body. But if you can promise me that, and you make a vaccine that I can never sue you for the damages that it does me to my mental health and all those stuff, then I'm sorry. Then again, they are talking about before the vaccine was real. It was the testing period, so maybe they left it for that reason. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys agree? Do you guys don't agree? I would like to see your comments, and we can just have a chit chat. Bada bing, bada boom, and yeah, that's how we come to a common ground, right? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time. Peace.
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.